Hello and welcome to the CEO Masterclass. I'm Peter Switzer. In a world wanting cleaner industrial processes and products, Euro Manganese Inc. is a dual-listed company on the Australian Stock Exchange and is a processor of manganese, which will play a big role in batteries for many uses, including electric vehicles. I'm talking to the CEO of the company, Marco Romero. Marco, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Peter.
So tell us about the history of the company.
We created this company in late 2014 with the sole objective of evaluating, advancing, developing the Chvaletice manganese project in the Czech Republic.
Okay, but it's called Euro Manganese Inc.
Yes, we recognized very early that the principal market for the manganese products that we propose to produce is Europe. So we wanted to very much identify the story with the local setting, the local market.
Yeah, but you're not a resources company, are you?
We are a resources company. What we're not is a mining company.
Okay.
Because we propose to recycle or reprocess waste or tailings from an old mining operation to produce these products.
Okay, and you're centered, you're listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange and the Australian Stock Exchange, but you're based in Czechoslovakia. That's a good story, which a lot of my viewers would be very interested in.
Yeah, it's quite global. The project, the asset, the resource is in the Czech Republic, about 90 kilometers out of Prague. Our head office is in Canada. The team that created the company is Canadian. Most of our team is actually in the Czech Republic now. And we listed in Australia because very early on, we got quite a lot of interest from Australian investors in what we were doing. And today we find ourselves listed in Canada and in Australia, with about 40% of our shareholders in Canada and 40% of our shareholders in Australia.
Okay. Normal people do not understand the link between manganese and lithium batteries, but everyone understands the future of lithium batteries when it comes to electric cars and all those other applications. Can you explain the link between manganese and lithium?
Yeah, manganese is a forgotten metal. It's the misunderstood metal. In battery chemistry. Well, it's our blessing because it's allowed us to position ourselves quite well. But we track approximately 200 automobile models right now that are either already in production or about to hit the market. And the vast majority of those have batteries that contain manganese, and that's precisely the manganese we want to deliver into the market. It's a manganese chemical, in fact, that we wish to market.
So do all car batteries have manganese, or is it the future electric cars and their batteries that will have manganese?
The current automobile starter batteries are lead acid batteries, completely different exercise. Your batteries that you use in appliances, the disposable batteries contain a lot of manganese, the dry cells, the Duracells, the Evereadys. The electric vehicle batteries today, the majority of those have manganese, the vast majority, and that's increasing in fact.
So the future looks very promising because we're all told battery technology is going to get better and better. It'd be a part of the environmental solution as well.
It is getting a lot better. It's remarkable, in fact, how battery chemistry is evolving, and manganese plays an enormous role in that. And we can see a very strong demand increase for manganese products for these batteries.
Okay, tell us about the trends for these sort of batteries.
Well, there's a variety of trends, but they all revolve around achieving performance. And that means safety, cyclability, chargeability, life of the battery, and range. This is the holy grail of battery research today, is how to make cars drive 1,000 kilometers on a charge is probably a good target these days. And manganese is playing an important role in all that. There's other elements as well, and various combinations of these elements, including nickel, cobalt, and lithium itself.
How does your company, Euro Manganese, fit into the EV revolution?
We fit in very well into the European battery and EV evolution, largely because we stand to become the only primary producer of these chemicals in Europe. There is no other deposit even remotely like it anywhere on the European continent. And we're extremely well positioned to deliver these products competitively into that market. But most importantly, we become very significant, in fact, globally significant, in the fact that we would be producing these products by recycling waste. So from an environmental standpoint, which is very much part of the motive for having these electric vehicles, we shine. We stand to have one of, if not the greenest manganese product production in the world.
Which is a marketing plus. You can market something like that pretty effectively, can't you?
It's attracted a great deal of attention, I can tell you that much, from users, from the various supply chains into these vehicles. And it's largely because the ultimate goal of these electric vehicles is really to reduce pollution, to reduce carbon emissions. But a lot of people look also very carefully at how these vehicles are built. What are their footprints in producing the vehicle? So if you can start introducing materials that are produced by recycling into these vehicles, you further reduce the environmental footprint.
Part of your competitive advantage is that you say that what you guys will produce will have a very high purity. How do you achieve that compared to your rivals?
Well, for starters, we are blessed with a remarkable deposit that is ideally suited for processing and achieving very high purities. The purity matters a great deal because of this quest for that performance I was referring to earlier. And the way we propose to do it is using very sound, proven technology, and we are working with some of the most experienced leading minds in the world in the design and construction of these manganese product plants.
All right, so I've got a question here, which one of people who have more expertise on the subject than me, and I want to put it to you because I want to understand the answer. And I think you've already answered parts of it. But why do you believe that purchasing sustainably produced battery raw material is very important to battery companies?
Well, for starters, it's a reputational thing. It's a risk mitigation effort for these companies. They don't want to be caught selling a car that's supposed to be greening the world only to find out that you have blood manganese or blood cobalt in the vehicle itself.
So your carbon footprint is small compared to rivals.
It's not just a carbon footprint. It's beyond that. It's the waste management. It's the way it's produced. We don't leave a scar on the earth. We don't have to drill, blast, crush, mill.
You Canadians are so nice.
You Aussies are very nice too. But it matters a lot to these companies because ultimately many people that buy electric vehicles today, while they're still expensive, do it because they want to make a contribution.
Yep.
I think it's largely part of the motive. Over time, we expect that these electric vehicles, and very soon in fact, will become highly competitive relative to internal combustion engines. So then it's going to be an economic imperative that's going to be driving sales. But ultimately, nobody wants to be caught with dirty products going into their vehicles. Everybody is trying very hard, and there's a lot of government pressure, incentives, and in fact, even directives to reduce the footprint of these.
And when you talk about electric cars becoming more and more competitive. You're talking about in terms of the price the consumer has to pay.
Absolutely.
To be a nice guy to the environment.
Yeah, it's a double win, if you want.
How far away do you think that
very close. I think it's probably within a couple of few years you're going to start seeing certain models break out of the pack that really are pushing costs down, that are going to make the total cost of ownership and even the entry cost of ownership of these vehicles highly competitive. Plus incredible performance. If any of you have driven a good electric car, they're beautiful.
On that subject, do you think Tesla will survive as a company?
Oh, yes, yes. They have really revolutionized and brought to the world's attention the potential of the electric car. They have struggled to make money, but arguably, and their supporters seem to think, that is the cost of starting a business. You've got to invest before you get your return.
Yep. A lot of people would be surprised about why you're in Czechoslovakia, 90 kilometers outside of Prague.
Beautiful Prague.
Yeah, so explain why. To me, it seems like there's two reasons why you're in Czechoslovakia, but there might be more.
No, there's only really one. Yeah. That's where the deposit is.
Yeah, that's true. But also, I think you also believe that a lot of the European car manufacturers are close to you as well.
Yeah. But that's fortuitous. Yeah. That just happens to be that blessing, one of those blessings, that we happen to be right in the middle of a major cluster of electric vehicle batteries. If you go to our website, you can find our presentation. There's a beautiful map in there that shows you our location relative to all these plants, that are making chemicals, batteries, cars in Europe. And the automobile industry is extremely important to Europe. It employs directly, indirectly, millions of people.
Okay, this is an easy question to ask. It might be a hard question to answer, but I'm sure you've actually worked on the answer. How long can the supply in Czechoslovakia last, given future demand and whatever?
We have modeled the extraction, the processing of this deposit over 25 years, which is significant. We won't meet all the needs of the industry forever, but that is the nature of these deposits where resources deplete, and then you've got to move on to the next one. Hopefully in time, and in fact it's already happening, you will see more and more recycling of batteries themselves. Although it's very challenging to recycle manganese, easier for cobalt, easier for nickel, but I expect recycling will play a very important role in the long run as well.
Okay, and how do you anticipate the manganese price will be affected by the growth of electric cars and the success of your operation and others like you?
One of the things that's clear to us is that there's a significant underinvestment in resource development to produce these products. And given the clear rise in demand for these products, what we anticipate is a squeeze in time. There will be a supply response. There are plants being built, particularly in China. But in the rest of the world, there's very, very little production of these products today. And at the very least, we hope to be there for part of that.
Okay. Now, one thing I often ask an interview subject, is there a question I should have asked, but I haven't asked, that you'd like to answer?
Oh, God. I can't think of it. I'm being reactive here. I'm responding.
Well, it means I've done my job.
You have done your job, sir.
Marco Romero, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, that was Marco Romero, the CEO of Euro Manganese Inc. Thanks for joining us.